Okay, okay, Cody, I'm telling them. I'll tell them about Monday Night Raw. And I'll tell them about the Seth Rollins thing. Yes, I'll tell them about the Roman thing. Oh, wait, yeah, I was right about the Becky Lynch Maxine Dupree match being a banger. Yeah, we'll get into all of that. Just, let's get right into it. Let's get right into it, guys. So, we're going to start off by talking about my prediction, my spoiler. Me being right as I always am. You know, I predicted Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree would be an absolute banger. And you know what it was? An absolute banger. You want to know who won? Maxine Dupree. I'm sorry, you couldn't hear me. Let me repeat that. Maxine Dupree beat Becky Lynch in 2025. I'm going to let you digest that for a second because what I just said was kind of the wildest thing on earth. So that was wild. We'll get into that. We're gonna start at the top at the opener, which happened at 8 o'clock. I thought it happened at 7, but it actually happened at 8. I didn't realize they changed the time back to normal. But show kicked off with Roman, and it was kind of a nothing thing at first, and then they had Paul come out and address Roman with Bronson Reed. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been on Twitter lately, so I don't know why Braun Breaker wasn't there. He may be just like selling the attack by Roman Reigns. I don't know, but Paul comes out, cuts a promo, shoots it to Bronson. Bronson cuts a promo. Then it gets shot back to Paul, and he shoots out the challenge to Roman Reigns to face Bronson Reed, a guy he already faced again. This time in an Australian street fight, which that's gonna be good. I like Bronson Reed, don't get me wrong, and I like Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns, the structure of Roman Reigns matches, has gotten like a little old over the years, especially now that it's slow paced action. Then it starts to pick up, and then you think, the guy Roman is going against is gonna win, and then Roman like has his Super Roman Hulk up 1,316-day reign, Superman punch spear moment, right? And I think that has just gotten a little stale. It's starting to feel like, I don't know, when you're watching a John Cena match back in the 2010s, you're like, oh, yeah, Cena's getting killed, but let's just wait for the last 5 minutes of the match, and then that's when it's going to pick up. And I feel like that's how all Roman matches are now, and that's not really a good thing in my opinion. Or at least Roman one-on-one matches. I think the street fight aspect will definitely throw like a bit more in there that I'm interested in, but then I think back, oh, that's pretty much just what happened at Clash in Paris after the brawl started, and I'm like, it was good, but is it match worthy to have its own match at Crown Jewel? And it's just confusing to me why they didn't just go with Braun Breaker. I get you want to get Bronson Reed on the show in Australia, but in my mind, what I thought was gonna happen was they were gonna have a Sami Zayn Open Challenge on the Crown Jewel card, and then that gets answered by Bronson Reed, or on SmackDown, and that gets answered by Bronson Reed. That's what I was under the impression of. Not that they were running back Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns. That was just like absurd to me. But, that's just like a minor gripe. Let's get into what happened next on the show, and that's going to be the Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree match. And that was just jaw dropping, incredible to me. Let me tell you what. Either A, Becky Lynch is literally the perfect women's dance partner, which isn't crazy to say, because she is incredible in ring. Or B, Maxine Dupree finally has that dog in her. And I've been seeing that dog in her since like the Royal Rumble. I'm not somebody who's gonna say, I've been scouting Maxine Dupree as one of the top women since the Maximum Male models. I'm not gonna say that. No, but since the Rumble, I've been high on her, and I've been looking forward to seeing more of her on TV. Her work with Natalia was telling me, oh, like they're serious about building up Maxine Dupree to be an excellent wrestler, and that's what they're doing. Maxine Dupree, she's been incredible. She went toe to toe with Becky Lynch and won, even via countout. She still won. Early in that match, like the sequences they were transforming from, it was just incredible. The chain wrestling was incredible. I mean, Maxine Dupree, what a showcase of her against Becky Lynch, nonetheless, on the second segment of the night. That was incredible. And I don't know if I'm like the only one high on that. I don't know what's going on, but I really liked that. Alright, so now I'm done glazing Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch. who's the greatest women's wrestler of all time. It's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated is saying it. ESPN is saying it. Sanchi's app is saying it. You know? But next, there was a backstage segment. You know, they had the impromptu making of a 6-man tag. Oh, I'm surprised it wasn't the main event. It was an impromptu tag match. It felt like SmackDown for a second, a 6-man tag. It ended up being, you know, Dom, JD, and Balor versus Penta, AJ, and Dragon Lee. I'm not even gonna waste time on that segment. I'm just gonna talk about it now. It was fine. I mean, there was some cool spots. AJ was good. You know, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, they were good. Penta was cool. Penta was fine. Judgment Day was fine. It was just meh. And then Rusev comes out, chases Dom. Penta accidentally super kicks Rusev. It's probably gonna be Penta versus Rusev next week. They're gonna run it back or something. That would be fun. I want to see that match again. That was pretty good. But I mean, as far as the Judgment Day match goes, it was very filler. You know, just have AJ Styles cut a promo. Don't do the thing where they had AJ start to cut the promo, he gets interrupted, and he cuts the promo after the match. Not only that, the small promo he cut was a nothing burger of a promo. I mean, it just outright sucked, if I'm being blunt and honest. It was bad. So that's all I have to say about that. Up next, we're going to talk about the utter graps, once again, from Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. I've seen this a million times, and I'm gonna see it a million more, and every time my eyes are gonna pop out of my head with heart eyes, because I'm loving what I'm seeing on my TV screen, because these two could dance forever. Let me tell you what. Yeah, there was Bayley. Yeah, there was Raquel. Yeah, it was the same old stuff as always. That doesn't mean it was bad. It was great. I'm enjoying what Bayley's doing with the alter ego. I wish they'd get out of the Judgment Day cycle with it. Like, I want to see, let's see alter ego, you know, Bayley interacting with Io Sky. Or the Kabuki Warriors, you know. Let's see that Bayley on SmackDown interacting with Nia Jax, with Tiffany Stratton. You know, maybe pop her down to NXT. See what that alter ego Bayley is like interacting with some of them superstars. I just think there's so much potential for this gimmick, and they're keeping it in the Judgment Day vortex. And it's not even Judgment Day vortex, you know, where they're holding gold. No, it's just the bare bones Judgment Day vortex. I mean, obviously they have the men's titles, but like the women, they don't have anything. So, you know, let's get Bayley out of there, please. But other than that, I really enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the post-match angle, and overall it was just great. Later in the night, they got into a backstage brawl, which was, you know, pretty cool to me. Lyra was showing them heel tendencies, just going along with what Bayley says, because she trusts Bayley. So that's pretty neat to me. You know, Lyra's been part of two of the biggest gimmick changes this year, heel turns this year, whether that was Becky Lynch's or Bayley's. You know, both were in the same storyline, but, you know, it's just been pretty cool to me what they've had Lyra doing. So I'm excited to see how that story progresses. And now to the top of the hour segment. Forgive me, I dropped my pen. Top of the hour segment, which was CM Punk. CM Punk comes out, does what he always does. Surprised we didn't hear Burn It Down. But he's like, I want my world title back. And then, so we knew he was going to come out. Because Roman talked to him backstage earlier in the night. We knew he was coming out. So yap. I want my world title back. Yeet, you wanna know why? Yeet, I ain't get my rematch. Yeet, 1-on-1. Yeet. LA Knight comes out. Yeah, I deserve a match. Yeah, I pinned Seth Rollins. Yeah, twice. Yeah, you know who I haven't been pinned by? Yeah, Seth Rollins. Yeah, give me the match. Yeah. And it's just like, they even mentioned it. WWE themselves mentioned how we've seen this before. How this is exactly what's happened on the road to Crown Jewel. Why are we having these three promos at each other again? And then Jay and LA get at it. They fight. They fight. LA gets taken out. Then Jimmy comes out to separate Punk and Jay. Punk pushes Jimmy out of the way, gives a stiff punch to Jey Uso. And then Jey Uso super kicks him, I think. And then there was a super kick from Jimmy as well to Punk. And they just made the tag match on the fly for the main event. And I'm just stuck here again saying, why did this happen? I mean, it's just why? I like the long-term storytelling of Triple H. Don't get me wrong, it shines in some places. But it's just like we've been seeing the same thing for the past couple of months. I get it's the build to War Games. This happens every year. But I don't know if it's just me. I feel like it's never been this bad. This repetitive. Every single Monday Night Raw feels the exact same. It feels like it's the exact same episode, with the only thing they did was erase one name and put a different name there. It's the exact same thing. What are we doing, WWE? And then we had the Io Sky versus Kairi Sane match, which, was kind of put into fruition earlier in the night during a backstage segment. Asuka continued to be that, I like how it was described as Asuka being the toxic X type. Just being all toxic to Kairi, being super mean to Io after that betrayal and stuff. Kairi surprisingly ends up winning, and it was via interference, but not via DQ. She just pinned her, and Asuka gave Kairi leverage, I guess. That was pretty cool. I didn't think they'd give Kairi Sane the pin there. Rhea wasn't there to help out Io. She was doing press in Australia, but that makes sense. And then they beat down Io post-match, which, again, I just feel like it's the same thing I've seen before. I don't know, have Asuka shoot Io Sky. No, don't do that. Just have something new. I mean, there's so much history between them, whether it's in WWE or otherwise. Bring that up. I don't know. Have Bayley interact with Io and be like, this reminds me a lot of what you guys did to me. Sucks to be on the other end of the stick, doesn't it? Something. Just something new. That'd be great. I want to see something new. And that's been my biggest takeaway from Monday Night Raw as a whole. I need something new. And I'm just not getting it. And now, I'm not sure if there's any other stuff in between. But then we jump to the main event. Usos versus CM Punk and LA Knight. And it's a standard tag team match that we see in the main event. We see this every single week. You know who didn't get involved this time, though? The Vision. Whoop-de-doo. Wowzers. That means nothing to me. You know what I mean? It's still just the same thing. And Punk hits a GTS on, I think, Jay. And then LA tags himself in just to pin him. And I'm like, wow, more friction between two guys who already didn't like each other? What is that? Doesn't mean anything, man. Now, I feel like what could have main evented, what should have main evented, was just the Rollins backstage segment, but it happens in the ring. What happens if I lose? You lose our trust. What happens if I lose, Paul? Then I'll be wondering why I chose you over Roman Reigns. Which, I like that angle. Paul wondering, why did I choose Seth freaking Rollins? Which, I feel like that's a great story to tell. He's like, I had CM Punk right in front of me. I had Roman Reigns right in front of me. I had guys calling me. But yet, I chose you, Seth. I chose you. I think that's a great story to tell. I feel like it might be too early to tell that story. I feel like it's be a great story to tell towards like a breakup. But I don't want a breakup to happen so soon between the Visions. But I feel like it's a great story to tell. I feel like that was the highlight of Monday Night Raw. And it was the friggin' backstage segment. What are we doing, WWE? Triple H, come on. That's just my review of Monday Night Raw. My takes on it. Let me know what you think down below. And, that's about it. I'm going to make a video tomorrow. Tune in for that. And I'll see you all later. Keep on kicking out.